so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
Okay, so get this. What if we could have ChatGPT take a medical licensing exam?
Ooh.
Like actually step into the shoes of a doctor and take the test.
Okay, now that sounds like something straight out of sci-fi.
Right, but it's not.
Okay.
This is real, and a new study, it was just published in the World Journal of Urology, and they did exactly that.
Wow.
They had ChatGPT try the Taiwan Urology board exam, the 2B,
Okay.
and this is not just like a quiz.
Yeah.
This is a high-stakes exam, the kind that determines if someone can actually practice medicine.
Wow. And I'm assuming they didn't just do it once, though.
You're right.
Yeah.
They didn't just do it once. They actually tested ChatGPT 4, which is the newest version, against 3 years of exams, so 2020, 2021, 2022.
And how to do it?
Well, I'm not gonna spoil it just yet, but let's just say the results were interesting enough to make us want to do a whole deep dive on it.
Okay, all right, so let me guess. It aced the exam. Robots are putting us all out of jobs.
Well, not quite.
Okay.
You can hold on to your doctor's appointment for now.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Based purely on accuracy, so just how many questions it got right, ChatGPT 4 scored high enough to pass all 3 years.
Wow, that's actually impressive.
It is impressive.
Urology is not easy. It's not just memorizing medical terms.
No, absolutely not.
This is complex decision making.
Exactly. And that's, that's where things get really interesting because the 2B, like a lot of medical exams, it has what's called a penalty system for wrong answers.
Right, to discourage guessing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when those penalties were factored in, ChatGPT's score, it plummeted by an average of 20%, which caused it to fail every single time.
Oh, so close.
So close.
It almost makes you wonder, like, was it getting cocky? Was it like, I know this one, and then just totally missing the mark?
Yeah, like did it get overconfident?
Yeah.
And start making riskier guesses?
It's like that student in class that's like, oh yeah, I know this, I got this, and then they just bomb it.
Yeah.
And you're like, really?
Exactly.
Oh, that bravado.
And that is exactly what the researchers found.
Really?
They found that ChatGPT 4, even when it gave the wrong answer, it often did so with complete certainty.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like it's learned all the terms, crammed for the test,
Right.
but it doesn't really get it, Like it didn't really understand those nuances.
It's like it studied the textbook.
Yes, exactly.
But it didn't actually go to any of the lectures.
Yes. And, medicine especially, like urology, it's so much about experience and intuition.
Oh, absolutely. You can't learn that from a textbook.
Exactly.
It's years of seeing patients.
Right.
Of getting your hands dirty, literally.
So how do we even begin to account for that when we're developing medical AI?
Well,
how do we bridge that gap?
That's the $1 million question, right?
Right.
Well, one thing this study really highlights for me is the data.
Okay.
Like the type of data that we're feeding these AIs.
Okay.
So ChatGPT, it's trained on this massive data set.
Right.
Text, code, a lot of it is medical, but it's very broad.
So you're saying instead of being like a general practitioner, it needs to be a specialist.
Exactly. It needs to specialize.
Okay.
Like imagine if we could train an AI specifically on urology.
Okay.
All the latest research, clinical trials,
Wow.
case studies, all of it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be spitting out facts.
Right.
It would actually be like developing an understanding
Oh, wow.
the way a human doctor does.
Okay. So it needs to do a residency, essentially.
Exactly.
It's residency.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But even then,
Right.
even if we have like this super specialized AI,
Sure.
there are always going to be those gray areas, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Where a doctor's judgment is going to be critical.
Absolutely. And I think that's why, the future of medicine, it's not about replacing doctors with AI.
It's about giving doctors these AI-powered tools.
Okay.
Like imagine having an AI that could analyze a patient's entire medical history.
Wow.
Lab results, genetic information, even.
Okay.
And then present the doctor with, here are some possible diagnoses,
Okay.
each with their own level of certainty.
Wow. That's like having a
It's like a
super-powered assistant.
assistant, exactly.
Wow.
And it lets doctors focus on what they're good at.
Right. That human connection.
Exactly.
The empathy part.
The stuff AI, at least for now, can't do.
Okay, so this is interesting because one of the things the study also found was that ChatGPT 4 aced certain parts of the exam, like anatomy, pediatric urology, but then it really struggled with stuff like cancer treatment, surgical complications.
Interesting.
So why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, anatomy, the structure of the human body.
Right. It's pretty,
It's pretty honestly, that's
established
yeah.
pediatric urology, complex.
Right.
But again, it's built on this foundation.
Right.
But then you have things like cancer treatment,
Which is
constantly changing.
yeah.
New research all the
And
time.
new discoveries all the time.
And I think that's where ChatGPT, or at least in its current form,
Yeah.
seems to struggle. It's great at processing existing information.
Right.
But when it comes to the unknown, extrapolating from limited data,
Yeah.
that's where humans still have the edge.
Yeah, that intuition piece.
Exactly.
So it's almost like this study is giving us this glimpse into how ChatGPT learns,
Yeah.
where it excels and where it needs to catch up. Yeah, it's like we're seeing its report card.
Yes. Exactly.
And some areas, A,
Right.
other areas needs improvement.
Yes, exactly.
But even the mistakes, I think, are really illuminating.
Okay.
Like, take the fact that even when it gave the wrong answer,
Yeah.
often it would give a clear, logical explanation.
Interesting.
Obviously not ideal in a medical exam.
Right. Right. It makes you think, though, like, if it sounds so smart even when it's wrong, how do we make sure we're not like host speaker, just blindly trusting it,
That's the thing about all this, right?
Yeah.
This technology is only as good as our ability to double check it,
Right.
to question it, to say, hold on a minute, are you sure about that?
Right. Because we can't just assume that it's right, even if it sounds like it has, like you said, a medical degree.
And that's where I think this is as much about AI evolving as it is about us evolving.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? Like our critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
We have to be able to ask the right questions, challenge assumptions.
And especially when it comes to something as important as healthcare, right?
Oh, absolutely. The stakes are high.
Right.
We need to be able to dig deeper, do our own research,
Mm.
and not just take ChatGPT's word for it.
It's funny, when you first sent me these articles about ChatGPT and the urology exam, I have to admit, I thought it was going to be a much simpler conversation.
Right, like robots are replacing doctors.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. Like, are we all going to be out of a job?
Exactly.
But it's so much more nuanced than that.
It really is. And I think that's what's so fascinating about this whole area of AI in medicine.
Right.
It's not about replacing human judgment. It's about making it better.
Right. Enhancing it.
Exactly. Giving doctors the information they need to make even better decisions.
It's like that idea of this collaboration, right? This partnership between human expertise and then AI's ability to process all this data.
Right. Because let's face it, humans, we have our limits.
Yes.
But AI can analyze information at a scale that we never could.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest takeaway here, for me at least, is remembering that AI, it's a tool.
It is. It's a tool, and it's up to us to use it responsibly, ethically.
Right. And to never forget that at the heart of all of this is the human connection, right?
Right. The empathy,
Yeah.
the understanding that goes beyond just making a diagnosis.
And that's something that, at least for now, ChatGPT can't replicate.
Yeah, not quite.
So to our listeners out there, as you're prepping for that big presentation on AI in healthcare, remember, it's not about choosing sides.
Right. It's not us versus them.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance.
Understanding both the potential and the risks.
And using this technology to ultimately make things better for patients.
And, hey, maybe spark some more of these conversations along the way.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you in the next episode.